Previously, in X-Men, Darkseid has a plan. Darkseid always has a plan. To control free will and dominate existence. The ruler of Apocalypse intends to transform Earth into the first planet of his takeover of the universe. And the key to this plan involves conjuring Dark Phoenix from the memories of the X-Men and drawing residual energy from key locations where she used her powers. The new Teen Titans are alerted to the activities of the agents of Darkseid, including Deathstroke the Terminator, and intend to stop everyone involved in the evil New Gods plan. At first, this puts the Titans seemingly at odds with the X-Men, but quickly the two teams recognize they share the same goals: protecting the world from threats unknown and unbelievable. Wink at you, Chris Sanagan. I am Jason Lapidus.
I'm Chris Sanagan.
And we are Group of Seven Comics. Welcome to episode 101 of our ongoing Tuesday night live stream read-through of the X-Men comics that became classic as we read the second part of Uncanny X-Men and the New Teen Titans, most of the final act, by writer Chris Claremont, penciler Walt Simonson, and inker Terry Austin. Cover date of January 1982. Wow. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. 101, eh? We are in the next century proper now, eh?
We are 101 episodes into our ongoing Tuesday night live stream read-through, which I used to call the never-ending Tuesday night live stream read-through.
There's no reason to suggest it will.
Except for
we only know that X-Men comics get better after Claremont leaves. So
what? Them's fighting words, sir. So we will see. We get to play that game as we round out the next 100 issues and not all, and some of the periphery miniseries like this, which was a one-shot between the two largest superhero publishers in North America, Marvel and DC Comics, in 1982, when both of these series were, kind of at their peak, right? Where X-Men are just after the Dark Phoenix saga, and the New Teen Titans are before the Judas Contract, which is like their most famous tale from this time period. And creators are at their height. John Byrne probably had just finished his run on X-Men and had gone over to do Fantastic Four. And I mentioned last week, but I'm happy to say again for anyone who might have missed it, Dave Cockrum was, of course, originally in line to do this series or this 64-page comic. It was going to originally be X-Men and the Legion of Superheroes, which were both series that were near and dear to Dave Cockrum's heart and skill set, and editor-in-chief of Marvel, Jim Shooter, who had started his career writing for DC and writing for Legion of Superheroes. So it was an easy one for Marvel to at least put their best feet behind. Or wait, was that the expression, putting your best foot forward? I guess putting their best feet forward to get behind that concept. And then DC pushed for it to be Titans instead. And editorial at Marvel felt Cockrum would not be able to keep up pace with 64 pages on top of what he was already working on. And they moved with second choice, which I think was a great choice with Walt Simonson and Terry Austin on inks, which are a fantastic team. And one could only wonder what would happen if these two Titan companies were able to continue with this relationship. We also talked last week about there being a Superman Spider-Man team up, and there being a Batman Hulk, which is a really weird one, a team up where they fight at first and then they eventually become allies. But before we get into that, let's welcome to the show one of our absolutely favorite guests.
Kicking off the next century of shows with class.
Yes, we're really happy to have artist David Cutler here with us today. David, how are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I forgot, but I'm here.
So, I sent David a message just a couple minutes back saying, "Hey, I'm going into this stream or into the studio," And he's like, yo, I'll be there in 5, which is totally good. Of course, David, if you ever aren't able to do this when you said you would, like there is no consequence to you having to leave or, having other plans or, or fulfilling a work commitment or something. Like you can,
Of course, but
yeah, you can do whatever you need to do. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it was never the same without David, the Man Wonder.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Hey,
So David,
quick
how are
question.
you? How's your week been so far?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're okay.
We're good, thank you.
We're good.
I see Chuck is here in the chat, and Chuck says, "Don't forget the Superman Muhammad Ali team up." Yes, I'm not going to forget that one. It was a massive, cross the board seller and a really really famous piece. The Neil Adams art in that is phenomenal, but it's not a mashup between Marvel and DC, which is why I didn't mention it. I think, the idea that it was the two groups working together. Unless Muhammad Ali was a trademark Marvel character, which in my memory does not think that was the case. But, that would be hilarious if his likeness was held by a Marvel trademark or something. This is, Jason points out, this is a $2 comic even back then. So 64 pages on Baxter stock.
Mm-hmm.
It's an oversized, in terms of thickness. Oh, my dog just walked in. Hey, buddy. I love when I see over my shoulder the door opens up and here's the puppy. It's a double or almost triple the size of a regular comic, and then on that better stock paper, which I'm not a fan of Baxter paper. I'm still, each time that I come across an issue that is meaningful that has it, I often regret, just like what could have been, because I love the worn out softness of newsprint. David, do you have feelings about Baxter paper?
I don't actually know which one Baxter paper is.
It's I might also be merging more than one kind of higher quality paper and printing into one title. I think there were a few kind of competing or a few options for improved paper quality, but it's that sort of oversaturated, more white and oversaturated colors and a thicker paper. And I can think of a couple comics, just themed X-Men that have it. Was like the what do they call that reprint of Giant Size #1 that they put out around this time as well? It's called maybe like X-Men Special, or an X-Men #1 special, and it has a full Dave Cockrum cover of them fighting Krakoa, and there's also an end comic drawn by Cockrum where it's Kitty and Ileana like having an afternoon in the mansion in the danger room and stuff like that. And it was the most common way that people in the 80s, in the early 80s, got a chance to read Giant Size #1, because a lot of people, obviously, the back issue market was not as viable then as it is now, and a lot of people weren't on board with the series when Giant Size came out. Now, of course, in the later 80s, it would be classic X-Men #1, which was the way most people of my age group got a chance to read it. But that was also only some of the pages. It wasn't the entire comic. So, that Baxter paper stuff. I don't know. I bet you Chuck knows all about the different papers. He's a very knowledgeable guy, or maybe Jason does. I don't know. But David, do you like that high saturated?
I'm going to say no, but I'm not.
Right.
I'm not sure. I think I was really impressed with it when I would come across it in a back issue as a kid. If
Right.
it's what I think it is, because I can remember the kid across the street having somehow gotten an issue of the Omega Men from DC, which was like a prestige series, and it being really vibrant and weird and different looking to me in terms of paper stock. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure if I can make a blanket statement about it one way or the other.
Here, let me just close this. I'm sure I could go through the various, books in my back issue bins and figure out which ones are which paper. But this one is a standout for being on that special. My dog is having a day. I didn't get a chance to take him for a walk tonight because of the weather. He didn't want to go out. So he's going to be a little more energetic into the evening. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Quick question.
Yeah.
The new Teen Titans. Does that suggest that there was also a revamp, rebrand that was just Teen Titans at some point?
Absolutely.
Just like how X-Men had their giant size.
Their parallels as franchises is really significant in this time. So they're both a relaunch. The idea of having Starfire and Changeling, like Beast Boy, Cyborg, and Raven, those were new characters that were along with like the old leader. And Donna Troy and Kid Flash are a couple of leftovers from.
And like
I don't
Speedy,
mean to. What's that?
like Speedy.
Yeah, Speedy is not in the series at this moment in time, but yeah, he was one of the original ones, and
Right.
Aqualad being the
Aqualad.
last.
Okay.
Originally, the series starts with just 3 heroes:
Oh.
Robin, Aqualad, and is it Speedy? And then they eventually bring in Kid Flash and Wonder Girl,
Right.
and that series runs its course and like loses its creative. Energy, loses its sales, and they kind of cancel and reboot with new characters, and it catches, right? It's like the formula is the right formula. It's the young people who are misfits, and having more diversity in the characters is going to connect with more people. I mean, how many redhead kids can you have wearing red and yellow? Like Teen Titans has too many already. So it's fun to see how they both tweaked. They both kept their original leader, and they both added like some of the same pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And you can really see those parallels, and they're a great pairing to, have in that shot that we left it on last week. I'm gonna actually just move it forward really, really fast, just to.
And which is published first? Is it Giant Size or is it New Teen Titans?
Giant Size.
Giant Size, yeah.
Giant Size.
The old Teen Titans were Steve Buscemi and Mr. Burns with skateboards.
Right. Oh, nice. Hey there. Hey, and
Hello,
also,
fellow kids.
Hello, fellow kids. I did come across a fun X-Men reference today. Has anyone here watched the new Scott Pilgrim Takes Off series?
No,
Just the first 2 episodes. Just the first.
You watched the first 2? I watched the first 2 with my kids tonight. They're big fans of the movie, and so we watched it. And in the first episode, his parka he's wearing has a big X on it. And Ramona turns to him and says, "So is the X supposed to mean something?" He goes, "Well, I guess one of us went to Charles Xavier School for the Gifted, and one of us didn't."
That's from the original. That's from the original.
That's pretty good. Is it from the original comic? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't make it into the movie, but it made it into the.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you're talking to 2 guys here who have not read the series, and there are so many things that speaking on behalf of both of us, that we haven't read that are like mainstays of a person who would have been reading through the 90s and the aughts, and so forth. Like we either weren't reading or just couldn't read everything at the time. So
you guys would have loved it, especially back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Because it's full of references to like Sloane and Gord Downey and Joel Plaskett, Scott's high school is St. Joel's, and his rival school is like Benvie Tech. Like I forget, can't even remember his name anymore. But somebody Benvie was the other.
Rob Benvie from Threshold. Yeah, with Joel Plaskett was in.
He's always fighting the Benvie boys. This is all like stuff that get cut out of the movie because nobody would like.
Right.
Get it, but there were all kinds of like references to the Canadian music scene of the late 90s, early 2000s. So that didn't make the cut.
They do because his ex-girlfriend Envy Adams was modeled off Emily Haynes from Metro, because she's like a friend of Brian Lee O'Malley at the time. And then in this series, there's this where she comes back and does a song and does a Sarah McLachlan song, but in like a metric version.
And it is Emily Haynes.
And it's totally Emily Haynes, yeah. And it's like, oh my gosh. Like they break into the song and you're like, oh my gosh. It's metric doing Sarah McLachlan. Anyway.
My intro to Scott Pilgrim was the movie. And I have a total sweet spot for Canadian references, especially Toronto, and my jaw was constantly on the floor while watching that movie, and I love it every single time. We have a few comments we need to just tackle here for a second. Chuck says, "I've always been a fan of Baxter paper, but I will grant you that the colors look quite different on it for sure." What we have in front of us is quite muted, even for Baxter paper. Like the colors look actually pretty nice. They're really quite vibrant, and not there's enough yellowing to the page. The copy I have here at home, it's way too much. But you can see things like, look at Wolverine and his mask versus his neck, and you can see where
that's why we're seeing so much of that. I see.
Right, where you can really see that the color plate, it stopped being like the color separation was cut to not go through the black of his mask, and black doesn't do a great job on this paper, but colors are hyper saturated. So if again, like there's famously a house full of older women in Connecticut that were doing all the color separations. So there are notes from a colorist at Marvel, and then those either paint, marker, color pencil, whatever they need to be, or just simply notes about what colors are supposed to be, get sent to this house in Connecticut where they do the separations for like every comic from every company at the time, and they are not like in love necessarily with making beautiful. Like they're it's a job. It's your job to separate these colors and cut them out. And they're going to cut corners when they can. So yeah, Wolverine, you can see even on his shoulder that dark red, which we all read as brown as a kid. But now that I'm doing so much coloring digitally with this palette, I know that's just, it's a darker red. It isn't actually brown, which is how I want to color him all the time. But anyway, it's brown and orange. Or sorry, it's like a dark red and orange is the palette he's actually using here. But you can see on his shoulder that it stops going towards his bicep. And it would have made a much richer black if it had been included all the way. So you can really see those areas where it doesn't go. Also, on his mask at the top of the right-hand side, you can see where it's just these red blotches. And if ever it's off register, it's a big fucking mess. So anyway, that's neat to see. Baxter paper. Jason says Dick Grayson soon to become Nightwing after this. Yes. Yeah. At the during the Judas contract story, he exits and comes back as Nightwing. And then Chuck says, "Wait, there's a Scott Pilgrim series? Where can I see this miracle?" And the answer is Netflix. It just dropped, last week?
Yeah, with all the original, it's animated, and it's all the original cast doing the voice acting of their characters in the animated series. I mean, from Chris Evans to Brie Larson to Michael Cera to everybody's back.
I like how Michael Cera's third in your order.
Well, I mean, come on, Captain America, Captain Marvel, and Michael Cera. Oh, you know what? Robin the Boy Wonder from the Lego Batman movie.
Nice.
George Michael Bluth.
George Michael.
Yes.
I know.
It's so much fun watching that movie, and then seeing how many people from that cast went on to iconic roles, but also how much superhero content there is.
Brandon Routh,
everyone,
right? It's ridiculous.
It's so much fun. My daughter, who's 12, she saw maybe 5 minutes of it about a year ago, and she's like, "We gotta watch this."
Oh yeah,
and I haven't found it. It's not streaming anywhere, or hasn't been for the last little while, and I recorded a version off television, PVR'd it, and I just hesitated showing it to her because of the commercials, but I should just, it's better to watch it than not watch it. So
she'll love it.
Yeah.
She'll love it.
Oh, I know. She's wired for that kind of thing, so we will totally enjoy it. And I've watched it a few times without her since then anyway. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. David, what any updates in comics for you? What you've been, either anything else you can announce? Oh, he left. He had to go. He doesn't like it.
Is there anything you can announce? He's like, "I'm out of here."
And he's like, "I'm out of here, dude." And I didn't do that, did I? I mean, his PC crashed, he says, and he's crying. So he'll come back. Hey, Massimo is here, man. How you doing? It was nice to see you this weekend. Chris and I were at 2 events over the weekend. We did 2 events. On Sunday, we were together at the Mississauga the Mississauga Comic Arts Fest?
Expo.
No, what is it called?
Expo.
Mississauga Comic Expo.
Exposition.
Yeah, I'm having trouble here. MCX. We were at the Mississauga Living Arts Center And it was a big comic to do. There were a lot of creators there,
Mm.
and a lot of people came, which was really, really nice. So we got to see you there, Mass, which was very cool. It was good to catch up with you and hear about your band, which I'm always happy to talk about. And you were also, Chris, at The Hero's Tale in Cambridge, Ontario,
That's right.
on
Next
Saturday
door.
with a lot of other great creators.
Yeah, including people like Gail Simone, and she brought in like just a ton of people coming to see her, which is really great, and a whole bunch of indie creators and some other writers for Marvel and some other bigger books right now. But yeah,
so
it's good time.
We had a very comics weekend, the two of us.
Sure did.
Which is cool. So Mass asks, does Chris Evans play the most comic book characters?
He might. There might be a record somewhere. It might be his.
Well, I think, in mainstream movies, I think we might have to put that piece in there, because I've played so many on this very show.
True.
But this doesn't count. So we can go through and see what we can name. Obviously, Captain America, Human Torch.
Yeah.
This dude, what's his character's name?
Lucas Lee is his name.
Lucas Lee. He played the glasses wearing, I think, like tech expert guy in The Losers.
The Losers, yeah.
Yeah, which he was good at. I mean, he's good in that one. And what else has he played? Jensen from The Losers. Thank you. That's what Mass adds. And what else has he done? I'm sure there are more.
I'm sure there are. But those are pretty big.
Yeah.
Those are all pretty substantial.
Hasn't done anything in DC yet, though. No voice acting in DC, which is fine.
The cool guy in another teen movie.
Sure. But it's still, if you want to talk about miracles in film, the very fact that he was able to make Captain America such a highlight of those 10 years, like when he sort of when he gets the shield. I saw every Marvel movie in theaters up to that, up to Endgame, and the reaction from that audience when he gets the shield and when he eventually stands his ground and then, the portals open. I've almost never been in a space like that with an audience before in movies. So just the fact that him and the rest of the team pulled off those moments, he is forever going to be an icon for people who grew up watching those. So that's awesome. Do you want to talk about travels?
Sure. I mean, it's funny. Like, so you just, as you mentioned, this weekend was busy for us and ends effectively our 2023 on the road. But the very next day, we've started planning our 2024 on the road. And in this case, we will be going farther than we've ever traveled before for a comic show at the end of January, taking an autogyro to the Prussian consulate in Siam. No, we are actually heading over to Europe. We are part of the Angoulême Festival, cartooning comics festival in southern France at the end of January.
Yeah, we're going with a group of Canadian, like a trade delegation of Canadians are headed over as part of Livre Canada Books. Welcome back, David. As part of Livre Canada Books, we're sending over like a delegation of Canadian comics publishers and comics makers, and Chris and I are going to be going to Angoulême in January to partake in that and do whatever it is we're supposed to do. And I think for us in North America, it's a little, if we don't know enough about the festival, it's hard to figure it out. In terms of attendees, Fan Expo gets
Canada. Fan Expo Canada and Toronto gets
Fan Expo Canada in Toronto, which is a very big event. Maybe 4th, 5th largest on the continent, like around there. It's up there, and maybe top 5 on the continent, next to like obviously San Diego Comic-Con and New York and Chicago, and it's not far off that. And they get what, 60,000?
They get about 100. They get about 100.
You think they get 100,000?
That's, I think, what it's meant to be. 25,000 a day, I think.
Yeah, I think most of them are the same people. When I'm there, I see all the. Well, Angoulême gets like 250,000.
Yeah.
You know, it is a massive. It is the third largest comics festival in the world, next to the one that just happened in Italy, which I forget the name of, being the second largest, and the first largest is the one in Tokyo. And so to be able to go to something like this and hang with you, buddy, it's going to be a complete mind-blowing experience. I'm very much looking forward to it. So yeah, we're doing that end of January. We'll be at Uncle M.
Bring on the fortified medieval cities.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We'll be talking more about it. I wonder if we'll have to do an episode from. No, I think we'll be back by Tuesday, but maybe traveling and do an episode from France or something. No, maybe take that week off. Never mind. Anyway, something funny. David, I was asking as your computer crashed if there are any comic updates, anything new that you're able to talk about in your comics work, or anything you want to plug.
Nothing new, but She-Hulk #2 is out tomorrow.
Whoa.
That is my backup, 8-page backup with Bobby Wilson, the writer, and Wyatt Wingfoot teaming up with She-Hulk, having a little 8-page adventure. That's tomorrow.
That's super cool. Well, I'm looking forward to that one. Toy Rensu says, "Evening, fellas. How you doing? Welcome back." We were talking last week also, we mentioned the idea that this is supposed to be the first of 2 parts, and that George Perez was going to be doing, probably was like slated to the second half, with your collaborator, David, Marv Wolfman. You got to work with Marv Wolfman, legendary writer of the new Teen Titans. You got to work with him on the What If Dark book with Dracula and Blade. And did you get to have any interaction with him, or was that like all through the editor, like the traditional way?
I would say right now the traditional way at Marvel is to have some interaction with the writers. They're usually included on all the threads and blah 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 blah. But no, I had zero contact with Marv Wolfman. I do not know the man. I knew nothing about him.
That's funny.
Have you ever met him?
No, I don't think I've even been at the same con as him.
So you
didn't
pitch part 2 of this to him and said, "Hey, what if? What if?"
No.
Is he okay? All right.
So
no, I did not.
I met him in maybe 2009. I should actually figure out what year it was. I went to a con as a visitor. I went there the sole purpose of getting a book signed by Darwin Cook, and Marv had a table, and I'm so sad to say he was just standing there by himself. There was nobody. It was a pretty spacious con. It was at the CNE, the Canadian National Exhibition in Toronto, and it's a big convention hall, but it wasn't one of those like. It was just before things, I guess, got really, really busy with, maybe before they had merged the 2 different Toronto shows into one company. And yeah, he was by himself, and it just looked really, really sad. And I felt terrible because I knew who he was, but so I went over and just said hello and talked to him for a minute. But I didn't talk about you, David, or your Blade Dracula What If story, and I didn't talk about Teen Titans.
How could you have? How could
I
you
know.
have?
Well, I just don't want you to be mad at me for not talking to him about you.
Oh Lord!
Even though it was years before I even would have met you, so or knew who
Was
you
that
were.
Was that before the Teen Titans cartoon?
Good question. I do not remember. Firstly, what year the Teen Titans cartoon was.
Like 2003 or 4 or something like that.
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, it was.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
whatever.
I think like after that show came, you wouldn't see Marv Wolfman without a line.
Really?
Right. Yeah, because it really like upped the
yes,
the Q factor of Starfire, Cyborg, and Beast Boy. So just people wanting to get comics signed with those characters in them.
It also might have just been a moment. Like a dull moment.
Well, I don't know. I've seen it. I've seen creators who should have very long lines apparently be forgotten.
So I'm looking to see what year the Darwin Cook Absolute Edition is. And here's my old man moment. I need to take my glasses off to be able to see. 2006. So it would have to be after 2006 at least.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. I don't know what year, how many months. It might have been a couple of years after I bought this that I got him to. Was lucky enough to get him to sign that one. So I don't know, but maybe 2008 or 9. I'm sure we could look up when he was there, when Cook was there at the. Is it called the Enercare Center or something like that? Either way, at the CNE, I can figure it out another time. Then on to my next question about part 2. What would you pitch if we were to do X-Men Teen Titans part 2? I'm guessing you flip who the big villain is. Obviously, like maybe you go with a big Marvel villain as opposed to the DC Cosmic. Do you go like Magneto with somebody?
Like Dr. Doom.
Okay, so you don't make it an X-Men villain. You make it just a broad Marvel villain.
Just a big daddy. And you bring back Phoenix.
No. I'm hoping that this is the last time we'll ever see any character named Phoenix or Jean Grey in any X-Men comic that we ever read. I'm hoping that she stays dead because that's
I'm
the
confident
vision.
she stays dead.
Yeah, I'm confident we're not going to see any character named Phoenix ever again, and there'll be no more teases.
We'll see the Anti-Men before we see Phoenix again.
So, what would you? Well, I mean, so Chris, you pitched Dr. Doom as your.
Sure, why not?
Oh, I got. So let's then. Jason says Apocalypse. Okay, now.
Good one, solid.
Yeah, man. So, like, do you do a different time period? Do you try not this group anymore, but do you do like the Outback X-Men? Do you do the Jim Lee X-Men and a different group of Teen Titans? I mean, what do you do?
But the Teen Titans Go team meets up with
right.
Outback
I mean,
X-Men.
You're
That's
just
what's
falling
on
on your. Yeah, you're just falling on your favorite there.
Yeah.
Well, I told you guys last week about my sequel idea.
I've already forgotten it. Wasn't it something cheeky?
Yeah, it was Starfire pegging the X-Men.
Right.
Well, sure. That is a solid idea.
It is.
I mean, you can get 64 pages out of that easily. There are a lot of X-Men.
There are every single one.
That's pretty wild. That's that is very funny. I'm still trying to take it seriously in my head as like a real story. I like the idea of Apocalypse because he feels like there is some counterweight to Darkseid a little bit there, some sort of symmetry. I like Dr. Doom too as a villain because he's not X-Men focused. Right. So we'll see if we can come up with anything else there. Jason Lowe is like on his way in, and he's sending me messages that the Wi-Fi is really bad wherever he is.
Is he back at his parents' place?
I don't know. We're about to find out. But
in his childhood room.
I do not take poor Wi-Fi as an excuse. You know what I'm saying?
Suppose.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, we can get Jason in here because we need to. So let's recap where we're at really quickly, and we can start into the adventure. So, Metron. Metron is like the all-knowing, all-seeing, kind of Uatu the Watchers type character that Kirby creates, who is not so interested in right and wrong and good and evil, but in finding absolute knowledge. And he's willing to do anything for that absolute knowledge, including make a deal with the devil. So he trades some technology with Darkseid. Speaking of our Darkseid, there is Jason. Hey.
To ye, my ex-friends.
How are you?
Hey, Jason.
I am doing well. I got my page queued up. How's it going, everyone?
Nice. We're glad you're here. It's not the same without you. And we're just recapping for a second that Darkseid trades with Metron. He trades. He wants Metron's Psychon Wave. I don't exactly know what it is, but I think it's like the one piece that Darkseid needed to like tap into everyone's mind to pull out, to reconjure or reconstitute Phoenix somehow. So he gets this one last piece, and he goes about trying to take over Earth so that he can bring about a new apocalypse on Earth. And in the process, the Teen Titans are alerted. They kind of intervene. They think the X-Men are bad, and they are all captured and all kind of drained of some energy a little bit, I think, in some machine. They're out in space, and now they're all free and meeting for the first time for this awesome splash page from the great Walt Simonson and great Terry Austin. And that leaves us where we're at. As readers, does anyone want to change characters or mix anything up, or you want to leave it the same? Where are you at? We'll start with you, David. Do you want to leave reading the same characters you were reading before? You want to take on any new ones?
I abstain from voting.
Okay, Jason. Do you want to change any of the characters that you were reading, or do you want to take on any new ones? Leave it the same?
No, I'm good. I'm good with the same lineup.
Oh my God. You guys are so nice. Chris, I'm not even going to ask you. You don't get a vote. Yeah,
David can abstain, but I'm just refused. Wow.
Yes, that is true.
No room at the end for this guy. I understand.
That is true. All right, then here we go. Why don't we read this page again, which I think we did read last time, but we can gladly. Introductions are quickly exchanged. The first tentative steps towards friendship made.
Under the circumstances, strangers though we are, I suggest an alliance.
My sentiments exactly.
I'm Cyclops.
Robin, pleased to meet you.
Oh, hold on.
It's you, Chris, yeah.
Yeah, no, I had a Zoom issue.
Nice.
Gee, that green guy looks about my age. He's kind of cute too.
It's something about the Baxter paper is that doesn't look green to me. It looks very yellow. And when DARKSEID was like, "Oh, my parademons aren't green," I was like looking all over the page for a green parademon.
And inner serenity, a beauty and nobility of the spirit.
I'm Raven. If you take Raven, you'll be reading all the guys.
Take a look at that green.
It is greener than what's on my screen.
This is so vibrant on my paper. It's look at Colossus's sideburn.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Duh.
It's quite messy, but it's a very vibrant.
So whoever scanned these messed with the color a bit,
or it's just like a more faded comic, you know.
Mm.
Sorry, go on. I didn't mean to cut off Raven there.
Oh yeah, sorry. Because I'm time slipping, so I was not even sure where we were.
I love it when you time slip.
There is in Storm an inner serenity, a beauty and nobility of the spirit that reminds me of Azar. Yet her companion Wolverine possesses a capacity. What? So
you're good.
Was there an interruption?
Going.
What?
No one interrupted.
No?
You're good.
Hello?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh,
He's time slipping.
I don't know.
Can you hear us, Jason?
I think I'm just slipping away. The connection is really bad here. I thought I was reading, and then it's like, and then I heard your voice coming in. I was like, "What's going on?"
You're doing good.
Okay,
are you caught up with us now?
Let me go to the second dialogue. You guys are fine now.
Okay, so you're almost at the end of that.
I don't know.
Fuck.
No, you're good. Are you with us now?
You cut off a bit, and then you just jumped.
Story.
Okay, guys, I might have to bail.
Oh.
If you want
The
to
connection
jump
here
out,
sucks.
why don't you jump out and come back and see if that helps?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Let's see.
He's not leaving. Look at him.
Just continue on without me.
Okay, we will.
All right.
So, want to just give us the part where she talks about Wolverine?
Sure. Around him, I must forever be on my guard, lest this inner fury strike me down.
I spooked that bird lady. I wonder why. I don't like this. Working with kids ain't my style. As if I had a choice.
He only does it all day, every day.
All day, every day. Psych, the air's getting thinner.
He's right. We're losing atmosphere. I figure we've got about an hour left. Hey, people, my radar scan shows something moving off to the left. Real close, too. And my sensors indicate it's a functioning mechanism.
Wow. Those gadgets are neat.
It's funny to see what he has, and he's got to have like wires connecting things.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like there's a spinning, and it's really cute to see, and how primitive it is. And he's supposed to be so sophisticated. That's good. I like it. I'm receiving a telepathic beacon from Cyborg's artifact, as well. I sense a life force, but no conscious thought. Is it a being, a mechanism, both? Plot our course, Cyborg, and let us get underway. Within minutes, the asteroid is moving, thrust provided jointly by Starfire's starbolts and Cyclops' optic blasts. Soon...
Is that Cyborg? I guess it is.
Yes.
Cyborg, yeah.
A chair? All that work for a crummy chair? I'll use my extensor arm to haul it in.
Go gadget extensor arm.
Whew! For all the good it'll do us. I'm sorry, Prof. I've done my best, but I haven't a clue how to make this baby work.
Do you have a real name, Changeling? Mine's Kitty.
She's always down to clown.
And then, who is this talking to Storm, do you think?
Oh, it's Kid Flash.
It was Kid Flash, yeah.
Your steel pals are Russian?
And I'm African, Kid Flash. Is that important?
Very.
Wow, jeepers.
I'm out of here.
Oh, no. That's a different comic. Fascinating. I'm convinced the chair is a mechanism and functioning, but it's based on principles so alien to terrestrial science as to be akin to magic.
Kitty, huh? My name's
Whoa!
Gar.
He's back.
Nice name.
Yours too. Things sound pretty grim.
Yeah, I wish I was home.
Garfield. Yikes!
Oops. Okay. Kitty! The chair! Where'd it go?
The question has hardly been uttered when...
They're
They're
back! Hi, guys.
We didn't mean it honest. All I did was wish.
Of course, the chair is controlled telepathically by thought.
It appears so, Professor. But how are we all going to fit in that chair?
I think you know the answer to that. A whispered conference between Kitty and Changeling follows, and...
Ta-da! The chair carries Gar, and he carries us.
I feel ridiculous.
Gripes!
You look great, trust me. Kitty and Changeling transform into Lucky the Dragon. I thought that was our special character, our secret. She seems very attracted to Changeling. I did not think that would upset me so. Piotr Nikolaevich, you are acting like a fool.
Oh, wonderful. A language I can learn.
Let's go! Fräulein, sprechen Sie Deutsch?
I like that as a... this is such a misogynistic like part of her character setup is that she can learn new languages by kissing.
Yeah.
You know? So, but
I think that makes it into the cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Nightcrawler's response. It's so funny.
Humph! That hussy and Peter's enjoying it too.
Sorry about this, sir. Starfire absorbs languages through physical contact. Guess it could have been a handshake.
Or pegging.
Gets carried. doesn't have to be physical. Hands free. Sometimes she gets carried away.
The sooner we're all carried away from here, Robin, the better.
You know, I speak many different languages, Robin. Try talking with an Irish accent, Gar. You'll feel better.
No way, Jose.
Why?
Wonder Girl
Cyclops.
gets a line. Oh my god.
Cyclops, is something the matter?
Just thinking, Wonder Girl. Jean earned her peace, Darkseid. Whether your creature is truly her or some arcane facsimile is irrelevant. You had no right to resurrect Phoenix, or to violate us in the process. If it takes eternity, Darkseid, mister, I'll find you. And when I do, for what you've done this night, you'll pay.
I like the idea that there's like Cyclops, toward the end of his age, end of his life, like still hunting down Darkseid across publishers.
Oh,
trying
like
to find
old
him.
old man Cyclops, and that's the
Yeah,
story. Just constantly hunting down Darkseid, or like variations of him. Oh man.
Yeah.
New York City.
I hate this page.
You do?
Oh yeah,
Tell me
It
why
doesn't
you
make-
hate this page.
Why?
it doesn't make any sense as a moving image whatsoever. So Cyclops and Wonder Girl are sitting on what's essentially the underside of Gar's tail. Storm is just going to get flapped off within a second, along with Robin, who's hanging for dear life. This thing is flying with two of its left limbs and one of its right limbs, holding Professor X's chair the whole time. It's going to like tear it to pieces. It's goofball. It doesn't make any kind of sense whatsoever. As soon as he moves, everybody on him is just flying all over the place. I hate it. Every time I look at it, I get so mad.
It's beautifully
Poor
rendered,
cyborg.
though.
Oh my god, it looks
Austin.
gorgeous. It looks gorgeous, but
You
it
don't
doesn't
think
make
about
a
the
lick of
logic.
sense. It doesn't make a lick of sense. It's Cyclops, Professor X, and Wonder Girl who really like push it over the edge to like. He thought it'd be cooler to have them spread out and have them all sitting in the same place, but it's so goofy.
Yeah, it is bonkers. You guys see where Wolverine is, by the way?
No.
Oh. Where is Wolverine?
I spotted him, but this is a Where's Waldo.
Oh,
moment.
he's
Yeah.
he's in Starfire's hair.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, there he is in Starfire's area.
Well, at least
Oh, yeah,
that's
he's-
what that part of him is. But yes, there you go. I love seeing like how the characters are all over the place. Like Storm is she can manage being like up there, keeping her balance, wind riding.
Exactly.
It is really crazy. And the drawing in New York looks really great.
Oh yeah.
Central Park seems to go on forever.
Yeah, that's a big Central Park.
It's a very big
Like
Central Park.
you don't see like. the
I actually
buildings
thought it
on
was
the
the
other end.
water. I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought it was the water too. And then there's a section that looks like
you
it
know
is
what?
water.
No, okay. That's probably like Jersey or something because you see the bridge.
Oh, you think it's like up the Hudson Valley?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the colorist colored some of what was meant to be water forest. So
Right.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
Definitely there
that's
is the bridge
that's
for
definitely not-
sure.
That's not Queens because Queens is not full of just trees.
I think it's the Jersey swamps.
Looking south.
I think you're Jersey Swamps. Okay, moving on. Cyborg, do you require assistance?
I'm okay, sister. Which is more you'll be able to say about Greeny when I get my hands on him.
Yippee! What a ride! What a view! This is great.
Hey, from me, could you expect anything less? No,
Take your pick, guys. Oh, it's Beast Boy.
Yeah.
Changeling.
The meter's running, Professor. Where do we go from here?
Uptown, Changeling. Phoenix possesses a unique psionic matrix. Evidently, since she believes me dead, she is not bothering to shield her mind. That psychic trail should lead us to her and Darkseid. Central Park. Every summer, the New York Philharmonic tours the city, giving free open-air concerts. Each season opens here on the Great Lawn. The performance culminating in Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture, which will be performed right now by Jason Lowe, complete with an accompanying fireworks display. Witnessed tonight by an audience of well over 500,000 people.
Is that is that?
Oh, that's it.
Oh, I think it Kill the Wabbit, isn't it? That one?
Oh.
No, maybe you're right. No, might be 18. Yeah, might be it.
Either way.
Those are way better guesses than mine.
It's funny just looking at this crowd pick, like the choice to have the curly blonde-haired person moving toward the viewer is so specific. It makes me think this is from a real photo, you know?
Like, I had enough of this music. I'm going home to watch Matlock.
I only like the 1813 Overture. 1812 can suck it.
She's so interested in what Wolverine has to say. She's like checking out the next panel.
Overhead.
You're smiling, Wolverine. What's so funny?
Nothing. Everything. I'm a scrapper, Starfire. I love a good fight, and this looks to be one of the best. I don't mind dying, just so I get a fair shot at Darkseid first.
Professor, I sense an empathic void. Darkseid is below us, but we dare not attack all those innocent people in the park.
We have no alternative, Raven. We dare not wait. This once, we do not have the luxury of choosing between good and evil, but between the lesser of two evils. The world, the universe, the future are at stake, child. If these people, and we ourselves, must perish to save them, then so be it. Once more, the Mobius chair does its job. Instantly, transporting our suddenly somber heroes far underground.
Delightful. Why can't villains' hideouts ever be somewhere nice? Like Tahiti?
Perhaps, Changeling, because if they lived in so beautiful a setting, they would not wish to be villains.
I can't get a scent on the opposition, Charlie. I hear their thoughts, Wolverine. None are close at hand. Too bad.
Darkseid's plan requires a mechanism. We're no match for him and Phoenix, but if we destroy his device, that should buy enough time to summon every superhero on Earth.
My hands shaking. My claustrophobia was under control until Terminator's ray brought back all my childhood terrors, stronger than ever.
You okay, Aurora?
No, Scott. I'm terrified, but I shall cope.
That's the spirit.
Soon.
Stiff upper lip.
There are so many smells. I can't sort them out.
Don't sweat it, kid. I can.
Kitty says your name's Logan. So's mine. Think we're related?
Oh my God.
You think?
Kitty talks too flamin' much. Hush up, boy. We're getting close.
Did you hear who was Deathstroke? I don't remember.
I think it was actually me. That you are, Runt. Ah! Now we're even.
Intruders! Destroy them! The wall's collapsing! Parademons!
Terminator's cadre has the advantage of surprise. It doesn't do them much good.
At last, I'm able to use my full power without holding back. It feels wonderful. But the demon horde seems numberless, and despite their losses, they maintain their attack with the fanatics' fervor. They're holding, we're holding our own, but for how long?
We can't stay here, Cyclops.
I agree. Professor, phase shift your chair out of here. Cyborg, clear some room.
My white sound generator has him on a run. On a run? Oh, on the run. One eye. Now what?
I'll blast us an escape route to the lower levels. And Cyborg, We all have names. I'd prefer it if you use them. Storm, bring down the roof.
Oh my god. With a massive bolt of lightning, the Wind Rider does just that. Incredible. Thousands of tons of rock, and I'll lay odds not one parademon was killed. Storm arranged her avalanche to trap them. By the time those dummies recover and dig themselves free, they'll be too late to help Darkseid. I'll be trapped with them if my powers hadn't enabled me to dodge the boulders as they fell. I'd love a rematch with those heroes, but I better alert the big guy first.
Santa. We've arrived, people. End of the line.
Wow.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Wow, indeed, Gar. Wow, indeed.
Darkseid. Oh no, it's Phoenix. Sorry.
Phoenix.
Oh, I really thought it was this Pekin guy. What is he doing there?
Oh my god. Darkseid, my love, we have visitors.
My love.
The X-Men and the Teen Titans. Hey, by the way, you guys are supposed to read Dark Phoenix.
Yeah,
not
I'll
me,
take Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the X-Men and the Teen Titans.
I stranded them on the far side of the universe. However, did they manage to survive, much less return? And that's it for me tonight. I grossly underestimated their abilities. They may indeed prove worthy foes after all.
Darkseid, we got trouble.
I am aware of our guests, Terminator. It is your function to keep them amused until my work is done.
You heard the man, bub. Let's play tag. You're it. Cripes, I thought I was fast.
I strike for the people of Dabari. Evil one, for vengeance, for justice.
Foolish child. Stellar energy sustains me. Your starbolts, pathetic as they are, merely make me stronger.
No!
Jean, for the love of heaven, remember who you are. Stop this, I beg you.
I know who and what I am, Nightcrawler, and it is not Jean Grey. Never have I beheld a creature of such that's not me.
That's
Raven.
Raven.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never have I beheld a creature of such consummate evil.
Ah, now the half-breed empath enters the lists.
My soul self will end your rampage, Phoenix. Azar, preserve me. What is happening?
You are tainted by an evil that rivals my own. You cannot hold me, Raven. We are too much alike. We could almost be sisters.
No!
Enough, Phoenix. The moment is at hand. Strike.
Behold, my darling, loving... Wait, nope. Behold, my dreaded, loving lord. The Hell Pit is born!
Awesome. So this tells me, like we were talking before about doing a sequel, and that's what it's got to be. It's got to be Trigon and a Marvel character, right? Trigon's the missing obvious one, I think.
Right.
So
Yeah.
maybe you make it
Oh,
like
yeah,
you go to
so-
hell, or you go to like a demonscape is where they have to go.
Mephisto and Trigon.
Yeah, like Mephisto and
Yeah.
Trigon. There you go. There you go. Now we're on to something. But I'm cool with if it's Doctor Doom too, because he has that like arcane magic thing going for him
Mystic
too.
kind of,
Yeah. All right.
Or
Page.
Marvel's Dracula.
Yeah, that's with DC's Dracula combined.
That burst of energy.
Dracula's.
That burst of energy, WG. WG. What do you think it means? Generally, when you shorten a name, it should be faster to say.
I think he means to say woog.
Woog.
Look,
That burst of energy, woog.
You know
What do
that
you think it means?
they're missing a line here. It's Cyclops from Off saying, "We all have names, Kid
we
Flash."
all have
We all have names.
A Wonder Girl.
Next time he calls somebody Mister, they better retort with,
Yeah.
How
Well,
rich,
That's not my name.
asshole.
That's not my name.
That's not my name.
We all have.
They
That's not
call
my,
me Mister. They call me WG.
I think I know, Wally. And Athena, give me strength. I pray I'm wrong.
You are not, Amazon. Your world is doomed. In a matter of minutes, the Phoenix bolt will strike the Earth's core, and the transformation will become irreversible. The borehole will immediately expand to its proper diameter, engulfing New York City. Simultaneously, other hell pits will radiate outwards from the core to emerge on every continent. Yield, X-Men, Teen Titans. Your cause is lost. Why waste your lives in a futile gesture? Join me. Live, prosper. Darkseid is generous to those who serve him well.
I love how he has a diagram of his plan.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good.
Did you
Looks
want to
like
know
the
more about
beginning of the,
boreholes?
I do. I lost it when you said borehole.
Borehole. Is lifting
Is this
some
a
of the-
crossover
some
with
dialogue from
Marvel?
me.
Sorry, there's a comment. Is this a crossover with Marvel and DC? Yes, it is. It's one of the rare early 80s ones. Pretty special to see all the X-Men and Teen Titans and Darkseid and all go together. It's pretty wild. And it
Not to
really
mention
works
the-
well.
Not to mention the borehole.
Not to mention the borehole. So now I want to see it be like Trigon, Doctor Doom, and both Ares as one Ares.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Like Marvel and DC, Ares is one Ares.
Okay.
Or Ares versus Ares. Anyway, just something where there's demons and hell and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, moving on.
However, if my friends could see me now, chopping my way to fame and glory. Yum!
My phasing power disrupts electronic systems. Together, we can make such a hash of Darkseid's machines that he'll have to shut them down for repairs. It's a slim chance, Scar. But we have to try.
And nearby, Raven. The key is Phoenix. My mind scan indicates that Darkseid failed to gather all her residual energy. His creation is a flawed vessel. She can be beaten, but I need your help.
I cannot! I dare not! Phoenix touched a resonant chord in that part of me bound by birth and heritage to my demonic father, Trigon. I cannot remove her evil. Instead, I almost became evil myself. Azar, forgive me. She spoke the truth. We are kindred spirits.
Then we shall die, Raven, the first of many.
Why me? Have I not done enough? Suffered enough?
The X-Titans don't appear to be interested in surrendering, Darkseid. I'm so glad.
Do as you wish with them, Phoenix, while I deal with these minor distractions. The children! Your courage and audacity do you credit. But since you have chosen to fight as adults, you may suffer their fate.
Yow!
Uh-oh, guys.
Your friends cannot save you, kitten, any more than they can save themselves.
Not so! The Titans came into being because of me. If anyone is here by choice, by design, if anyone is responsible for their lives, it is I.
The attack is devastating because it uses the one weapon to which Dark Phoenix is vulnerable: an emotion. Love. Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
This
Her
is a
own
maximum carnage.
And boreholes.
and boreholes. Her own abilities heightened by Xavier's psi powers. Raven drains Phoenix of rage and hatred and lust, filling that emotional void in turn with the love felt by Xavier and all the X-Men for Jean Grey. Phoenix's reaction is a shriek torn from the pit of her soul. They fill her with love.
Ooh.
It does not go unheard.
Phoenix.
I think it's Robin.
Oh, It is. I thought it was Kitty's bum. Hold still, you two. I'll have you out of harm's way in a jiffy.
Nice swing, bub. Shame it didn't connect. You know that old saying, Shorty. If at first you don't succeed, no fooling.
What's Charles doing to Phoenix? She sounds like she's in agony. I know she's a creation of DARKSEID, that she can't be Jean, yet I feel her pain as I would Jean's. Even as Phoenix is, I can't bear to see her hurt.
The Psi War rages. Xavier torn and tormented by memories of what was, thoughts of what might have been. But, surprisingly, instead of weakening him, his grief only strengthens his resolve. Then...
My body. I feel so strange.
Discorporation, evil one. Your form is returning to the eternal cosmos whence it came.
Return from whence you came. Huh? Professor Xavier's voice inside my head. Only Dark Phoenix, with her insatiable desire for survival at any... Oh, no. That's Xavier's voice inside my head, speaking in mine.
Only Dark Phoenix, with her insatiable desire for survival at any cost, could maintain the degree of concentration necessary to exist on our plane of reality. The instant that belief was shaken, even slightly, her very existence began to unravel.
That gives me an idea. Phoenix, you need power to sustain yourself. Absorb the Phoenix bolt you shot into the earth. Yes, that will save me.
No! Ultimate victory is within my grasp. Even you will not be permitted to thwart me.
Forget about her, ugly. You got problems of your own. Wolf. It's just like I ran into a mountain, but I toppled him.
So, boy, you wish a test between your powers and mine. Very well. It will be the final lesson for all of you. My Omega effect will expunge you as if you had never been. I will cover his eyes. Perhaps my armored body can block the beams.
Oh no.
Wait, Cyclops. Let me try to stop him. With my star bolts.
Ah! My eyes! Omega effect backfired. The pain. Titans, X-Men, you will pay for this. Before I am done, you will beg for death.
Ignoring her ally and Creator's bellow of rage, Dark Phoenix soars into position above the nascent hell pit. Everyone, take cover! Raven and I forged a mind link with Dark Phoenix. I must not allow it to be broken or allow her a moment's respite. Phoenix is vulnerable. If I keep hammering at her, she may well break. She glows star bright as she draws her energy back into her. And for an instant, Xavier sees her as she was truly meant to be, a goddess of life, pure, transcendent, indescribably beautiful. He hears the symphony of Tchaikovsky's 12th... What? He hears the symphony of power that tempted Jean Grey to ultimate heights and depths. He weeps. He mourns. But he does not relent. Then the moment passes, and she becomes once more the angel of death.
My power has been restored to me. Face me now, X-Titans, if you dare.
I love that's how she calls them, like the X-Titans. She's said it a few times now. Professor.
Cyclops is like, we have a name, sister.
We've got a name.
That's not my name. That's not my name.
Professor, Raven, the hell pit's sealed. Robin's ploy about the time we need. Start calling for help, fast.
Scott, look! Phoenix! Something is happening!
It wasn't enough. I'm fading. I can't stop myself. Help me. I don't want to die.
And you shall not. There is a way to preserve both life and power. Take a physical form through which your energies can be focused.
Yes, but who?
Scatter, people. Get away from me. Now!
Come, my once and former love. Embrace your destiny.
That's a nice pose from Scott.
It's awesome.
I live. I breathe. I feel.
I remember. No.
No. Wait.
It's
I
you.
think
No,
what's
it's you.
happening. It is. No. The memories, the emotions. I cannot bear them. They are not Dark Phoenix. I am power. I am chaos.
But you're inside my head, a part of me. Your original creation sprang from love. Out of love, you sacrificed your life to save the universe. Deny that, and you deny your true self.
Accept it, and I am doomed. It would have been better to had I remained as I was, to have this illusion, this brief taste of life, only to see it snatched away, to be condemned once more to eternal oblivion. Darkseid! You are responsible. You will pay the price.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty cool, actually.
Like the idea of taking off his visor and like his whole head is just shooting out plasma energy in
As
like
a
Phoenix
Phoenix?
Force, and yeah,
That's crazy. That's cool stuff.
That's awesome. First time seeing Cyclops having the Phoenix Force too.
yeah. It
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
every
true.
other idea
X-Men.
sound so derivative. You know, like if I also think his costume looks amazing with that logo in the middle. It ties the whole thing together like
It
a
does.
really
Yeah.
bug.
Really brings the room together.
Where's that Marvel legend?
Yeah,
Well,
seriously.
Okay. Wow.
they're both gone, but where? In the park above the concert. I knew this would come back. In the park above the concert. The park above. The concert reaches its finale. An 1812 overture. Its eagerly awaited climax.
That's a long song. There go the fireworks. Ooh,
Look at that! Whee!
incredible.
Far out!
Hey.
Then at the crescendo, almost on cue.
Wow.
Clap, 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 clap.
Hey, is that a fiery phoenix holding Darkseid? Yeah, it was cooler last year.
Yeah.
And
Last
then
year
I
we did
wonder-
drones.
I wonder if you look at the crowd, if there's anyone notable in it.
Oh, what's her name from Scooby Doo? Not
It
Daphne.
looks like it looks like
Velma.
Velma. It looks like Archie Goodwin might be there. Or is that Stan Lee? I'm not
it's,
sure.
Possible one or the other.
Yeah. It's fun to like look at this and figure out who might be there.
Is that B. Arthur? Like,
Yeah.
It'd be so funny if it was, if it's like, yeah, characters from TV shows,
It's
but
the cast of Maude.
yeah,
I'm guessing the guy in the beard, that could be Claremont, maybe.
sure. I mean, it could even be like Simonson and Wheezy. Like, I have no
Oh,
idea.
yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That it could well be them. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's fun to think about who those, who they might be. Because they look like cartoon characters as opposed to, Simonson's usual style of rendering people. Looks fun. So I wonder. It's the kind of thing you'd have to ask him, and he probably wouldn't remember the specifics, maybe. The distance from Earth to the wall is so great it cannot be imagined. Yet the Phoenix crosses it in the blink of an eye, following the trail of energy that is her lifeline back to its source, is a mad, desperate attempt to rejuvenate herself. Aware, even as she does that, she is too late. She's become too human to remain a goddess, or remaining too much a goddess to live as a human being. That paradox is her downfall and her glory. The concert over, an awed and wonder-struck audience reluctantly drifts out of the park, homeward bound. Those heading for the west side of Manhattan passing by Belvedere Castle.
I still can't believe that it's over. That we won. Raven, I was so proud of the way you fought Phoenix. I can guess what must have cost you. Thank you, Donna. How ironic, though, that the very qualities I feared Phoenix would use to corrupt me were what gave me the strength and courage to face her that second time and triumph.
Yeah, more of that rare like crowd cartooning from Simonson here. Really fun. Like every face is unique, you know. That's
That
great.
guy with that bald spot, like
The skullet,
the
whatever
skullet.
that is. The
monk. Yeah.
Yes,
that's
Yeah.
great.
that's a choice.
Every sentient being is an amalgam of positive and negative, Raven, good and evil. Our humanity derives from the balance struck between them. Dark Phoenix was power absolute, evil incarnate, yet she was hollow. Her power and evil were all she had. Perhaps by merging with Scott, she realized that what she could never equal what she had once been, and that destroyed her.
Can the philosophy elf, and let's scrounge some brew. Savor the universe is thirsty work.
So Wolverine, these are the Teen Titans.
Hey, he hates working with kids.
But he loves underage drinking.
And betting aliens. You look to the stars, Scott. What do you see?
Dreams, nightmares. I wish there'd been another way.
So do I. Scott, one thing puzzles me. If Phoenix was Darkseid's creation, if she had no conscious existence prior to that awful moment at the wall, then who, what, appeared to us and to the Greys to warn us? Epilogue. And we just get an image of power coming off of the source wall, the barrier between known space and the unknown power that lies beyond.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the
I can
Mobius chair
Hear
appear.
a loud booming sound coming from that.
Yeah, like a constant hum, you know? Would someone else like to read Metron?
Yeah,
The wheel turns. The wall is sealed. The balance restored. All is as it was, with one exception. All things are thus as they should be. My thanks, old friend, for revealing the answer to yet another mystery of the source. Farewell.
So anytime anyone tries to breach the source, they become part of the wall.
Right.
And there we see an amazing, super Kirby-esque
Totally.
Darkseid face, literally carved in stone this time. Yeah, as part of the source wall. So cool.
And that's how Darkseid died.
Or became one with the source. You know, like that's it's incredible. Like that's I love that kind of stuff from.
So he lived to see his own Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
Yes.
Nowadays, he became one with the Circuit City.
Well done. Well done. You're such a cheek. You're such.
You know, I'll say this. This is the best written Marvel DC crossover that there is.
It is.
Bar none.
Like every
Bar
character
none.
was well utilized.
Yep.
I think I've read all the major ones now, except for the second Spider-Man Batman from the 90s. This was good.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of like the nonsense in it, and anytime there are these cosmic stories, it's really hard to put together to create real stakes, you know, and meaningful ones. But I think emotionally, there was nothing going on really for the Titans except for maybe
That's very
Raven figuring out that her worst qualities actually can be used for good, which is a good thing to figure out for any of us. I remember the day I learned that lesson; it was really helpful, and I really it's true story. And I do also like that idea that the X-Men kind of have to come to terms again with like losing her it's part of the grieving process, maybe in their larger arc. There's some good stuff there. But for most of the characters, there's nothing. Like Kitty gets nothing. Colossus gets probably laid again.
You expect too much.
It's all status quo, but I mean, it's good fan service.
Yeah. I'm not judging it against like an average issue of Claremont's X-Men. I'm judging it against Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Hulk, and Superman. Oh wait, Spider-Man, Batman. Those are the three big ones.
Sure.
This is better than those.
Yeah.
Oh, it might. And the JLA Avengers is pretty good, but it's even denser than this, so it's a read.
Yeah, and there are a lot of characters that they just really want to do the fan service, like the one-off battles, like the pairing off, to figure out, whose is the biggest kind of thing. But I also just really dig seeing Simonson play with the X-Men and seeing him play with all this like abstract ways of rendering power is just, usually really quite fascinating. And then anytime he gets to do New Gods, it's just neat to see him do that. So I'm a fan.
A lot of great special effects that looks like it was produced with $1 million right on this page. Yeah.
And Terry Austin is such a great match with him at this moment in time. They work so beautifully together. So I'm a fan of this one. I would really love to see that, like we talked about last time, the artist edition. Hoping that Simonson still has his pages and that maybe IDW can figure it out. I mean, we know exactly who to talk to. Like now on social media, you can access Scott Dunbier, the director of special projects at IDW, who does all of or mostly he is the like director or editor, I should say editor of the artist editions. And then Simonson is on social media too. I bet you this question's been asked. We're not coming up with any new thoughts here.
Live tweet him right now.
Friend of the show, Walt Simonson.
Yeah, I've had a tiny bit of chatting back and forth with him over the last couple of years, but it's mostly just been sending him good wishes, around the holidays and stuff, and a question here or there. But he's a really funny. I don't know if anyone follows him on Facebook. He's a really funny like Facebook grandpa who posts his like tech issues sometimes and updates on some of the sketches he's working on and commissions and such. And he seems like a really nice guy. Nice on interviews too. So I think if he has the pages, he'd be like forthcoming that he kept them. But maybe, who knows where they are. But I'd love to see this stuff uncolored. They would look awesome in black and white. Anyway, there you go.
I do like how we were saying, Phoenix keeps calling them the X-Titans, and then Toy suggests Team Men. We call them not the X-Titans, but the Team Men. That's actually, I like
Team
that.
Men, go!
Team Men, go!
Yeah, and amalgam seems like fun too, like mashing them together. I'm like of the mind now. I'm just playing with this idea of again part 2. I like the idea of splitting the teams into 2 teams with a mix of characters, like a bunch of the Titans on this team and a bunch of the X-Men on that team, and mix so that you get them on different missions and see the interplay of the characters, like in Infinity War and Endgame, when you get some of the Avengers with some of the Guardians, or whatever the mix-ups would be. It makes for some fun dynamics. Not just everyone pairing with a person that they are, like the Kitty Pryde and Garfield. I'm like, I don't like. I want to see, like Gar and Wolverine. That's more interesting to me. And they had their one.
Well, they could be related.
That's
what happened to Gar? He didn't make it. Wait, these just claw marks in his skull.
Oh no, the Logan Bros though.
Yeah. That's fun.
Logan
any other final thoughts about the crossover?
That was fun. I think we all agree it was like again, not expecting much given the history of crossovers. That was a fun, 2 teams that were at their kind of similar, like seemingly zenith point, like in terms of sales and popularity, and like the creative teams behind them, and to bring in these Simonson. That's a great book, I think, for what it is, right?
Agreed. David, what do you think? Any other closing
I hated
thoughts?
It was real bad.
He hated it.
I'm with
Fair
you
enough.
guys. I'm with you guys.
There's that one splash page of the dragon in the air that you're like, forget this.
Oh, it's awful. It's like a distilled image of the kind of thing where a character says way too much during a punch.
Right.
It's just you're not getting that this is meant to be a moment in time, and there's something's going to happen after this. It drives me crazy. I really don't like it. But everything else I really liked.
Maybe Gar mastered the art of like freezing his entire body but his wings, so everyone else is steady. I don't know.
I don't know either. I did grab from the basement from my my collections room there. My superpowers, Robin.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a good one. I love that guy, and he's got, of course, his. Ready?
Yep. Hi.
Karate chop, yeah.
Got his chop action. As
I can't
good as
believe
it
you
ever
didn't try
was.
that move on Darkseid.
That's true. On who?
It would have.
Darkseid. Exactly.
Oh wow!
Chop away, boy. Chop away.
And he, of course, has the red part in his head that allows light to go in and make his eyes glow. So allow me a moment here of getting this going.
Show us the Omega beam.
Mine still has its.
Oh,
Ooh.
his eyes. Nice.
Very nice.
That
Omega
was
beam.
innovative back in the day, man.
It made it more fun, that's for sure.
Yep.
I mean, he was he's not a fun villain on Super Friends, but it made it for a fun toy to have like a Darth Vader stand-in, like this big bad. He came with a cape too, so he was like extra Darth Vader-y.
Yeah.
And he's the biggest in the line. He's such a big figure, so that was a special one. But so talk action figures with y'all. If you could have a uniformity between a Teen Titans line and an X-Men line, what scale, what style would you like? I put that question out to anyone, whether it be the three of you jokers or anyone in the chat. A line that they're compatible. What size, what style?
I like Marvel, like the retro Marvel Legends 3 and
3 3/4.
3/4 for the X-Men looks. Like, I know it's a classic looks from the 80s. That'd be kind of fun to see some Teen Titans in there too.
And Teen Titans actually had like a San Diego exclusive Super 7 retro, reaction figure line. So yeah, they would totally go well.
So it was Nightwing in the blue with the pop collar, that version?
Yeah. I don't remember how they modeled the pop collar, but it was definitely that look.
I was so tempted to go after that at the time, and maybe now I'm going to have to put them with my X-Men from Marvel Legends 3 3/4. So that's Chris's vote is for that. Okay, you want them all that size. 5 POA, right? Arms, legs, head. Chris?
Yeah.
You want 5 POA, like 5 points of articulation, old school.
Yeah.
Jason, what about you? What would you, if you could have one style uniformity, Titans, X-Men?
Yeah, so just to celebrate this book, it would have to be the same, the 5 points of articulation, because like if we do the Marvel Legends, which we already have of the X-Men, and then we get the Teen Titans and Marvel Legends scale, like I'm gonna want like all the other DC characters, and it's just gonna be a bad habit for me. I'm just gonna like start collecting DC characters in that scale now, and yeah, I don't want to get into that rabbit hole.
Fair enough. David the Man Wonder, what would you like?
I'm gonna say that I just want the Teen Titans and Marvel Legends scale because I'm not buying the X-Men again.
Fair enough.
You see?
Yeah, like 6-inch, all those points of articulation would be pretty awesome.
I mean,
It's
McFarlane
just
is
too bad.
almost in scale, but they're a little too big.
Yeah. They're definitely too big, and
Yeah,
they don't
like
look
5 inches.
They don't look compatible at all.
They would go well with the vintage Toy Biz line of X-Men figures.
They're shorter
Except
than you
those are
remember.
So
Yeah.
ugly.
Yeah.
There
Here,
were,
I have one here. I have Wolverine.
but they were the
So-
that's all we got at the time, and
Yeah,
them.
I mean Wolverine and
Yeah. Oh, geez, yeah. no, that's
Robin.
not work.
You know,
Yeah.
that's
No.
superpowers.
Let's go get some
Um,
brews, kid.
I used to do. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's like Hugh Jackman Wolverine scale.
I used to do. True. I used to do superpowers and Secret Wars. Like I'd play them together as a kid, and that was as good as I could get it. But
I don't
Yeah, I
think I
would
ever
love-
saw a Secret Wars figure in person in my life.
still, have you not?
Maybe at a con and I just didn't like focus. I'm sure I was in the same room as one, but no, they weren't around when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. There
Nobody
were a
had
bunch
them.
at that toy show we went to in Meadowville.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I have a few. I would love to get a few more though. Toy Ransu says 1/12 or 6-inch, but DC Icon style. They had some great sculpts. Yes, they did.
They did.
Can you imagine if they did an animated series like Batman the Animated Series style figures of X-Men and Teen Titans at the same time? I don't know. I'm just
My head
going
would
crazy
explode.
here. Yeah, my
Too-
head would
Too
explode.
good.
I picked like a third style and then the two kinds of things into it. But anyway, there you go. All right, moving on to just finally doing some shameless plugs. Jason, do you want to plug anything?
Yeah.
A new
so
series,
next-
perhaps?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so next week is Howard the Duck issue number 1, which I already plugged last week. It comes out next week. It's a what-if story. What if Howard the Duck becomes an X-Men? Go pick it up at your local comic book shop. Then a week after that, it's the debut issue of The Century, written by me, drawn by Luigi Zagaria, and yeah, it's gonna be a blast, guys. It's a mystery following Jessica Jones and Misty Knight as they're figuring out why are these 6 individuals, random strangers, like why do they have the power of a million exploding suns like the Century?
Very
So,
cool. That's
go
super
check that out.
exciting. And David, what about you? You want to plug anything again? I know you did at the beginning, but this is a different audience, perhaps, at the end.
Backup story in She-Hulk number 2 tomorrow. Fill-in pages in Alpha Flight number 5 in December. And yeah, that's it.
That's awesome. Sanagan, what about you? What do you want to plug?
Oh wow. I'm going on vacation tomorrow for a couple of days. I'm looking forward to that. That's about it.
Plug something. Come on.
Plug something. Well, yeah, there's our new book. There's our new expanded edition of Group of 7, The Most Secret Tale. It's out. It's been on some tables. It's doing really great. We love the production on it. We're really happy with it. We think it's the best product we've put out. So if you're interested, let us know. Get us on the website, group7comics.ca. And David and Jason, next time we see you both in person, we have things for you from the pre-order. So
Ooh, yes.
hopefully we can see you soon in person and drop those off too. So
Should be very cool. We also are starting our next daily Instagram comic. We've done
that's
3
happening,
so
yeah.
far. We're
Ooh.
starting our next one December 1st. It's called Peregrine's Badlands, following up the smash hit of Peregrine's Hunter's Moon.
that's right.
And I'm very excited to be working on that daily. Right, so that should be a blast. So follow Group of 7 Comics on Instagram to see.
All December holiday tradition.
There
You get
you
a
go.
new comic because we thank you for your support. So we're doing.
There you go. So that should be a blast.
Awesome.
And then if you happen to be in Europe in the new year,
Check
come
it
to
out.
Angoulême and come meet Chris and I. Will be there January 25th through 28th, I believe. Those are the dates of the
I think those are the
Angoulême
dates.
Festival. That should be a total blast to do that. And then, of course, come back next week. What?
Ooh.
For issue 182 of the Uncanny X-Men, where we'll be following an adventure with our good friend here, Rogue, as she goes through another iteration of her costume to finally settle on something without orange in it. We'll see how that plays out. It's a very emotional issue coming up next week on Previously an X-Men. And I think that brings us to the end. Any other final thoughts there, anybody?
I just want to thank our special guests, David and Jason,
Oh,
for a two-parter. This isn't like we're into like hour 3.5 of the overall book. So thank you so much.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for doing that with us and joining us and making it so much more fun. It would never be the same without you, so that's much appreciated. And if you're going to read something this week, keep it X-Men. Yeah, keep it X-Men. Do something cool. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great night.
Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Good night, X friends.